Each week on this video, we'll give you sneaky waiver wire ads you can pick up and add to your roster this week, heading into week 8. I'm Alan Seslowsky of RotoWire.com, along with Jeff Erickson, and watch until the end for a bonus sneaky ad. Who's going to be your first sneaky ad this week?
It's the answer key to our Rams question from last week, and that is Darrell Henderson. Everybody spent on Zach Evans. We all thought it was going to be Zach Evans, and then they signed Henderson being one of them, and he stepped in right away and was the starting back, even though they even said that Royce Freeman was going to be the starting back for a while. But Henderson looked pretty good. He's healthy for now, so we'll roll with him.
When teams draft a player and he's on the roster and he's like the third running back, and then it's his time to play, you see sometimes that they go back to like the veteran well. They sign Henderson or Leonard Fournette. Why do they do that? Why don't they just have that player on their roster, in your judgment?
We don't see things in practice. A guy can maybe miss blocks, not knowing the plays right, miss little things. Sean McVay's system could be intricate, tricky, if you will, but it's also safe to go with the known route, the veteran.
Buffalo Bills' Latavius Murray only had 6 touches in a loss against the Patriots. In other words, Murray was game scripted out. Last week, Damian Harris was put on IR, paring down the Bills' backfield from a committee of 3 to a committee of 2. James Cook saw 16 touches and should continue to be the Bills' preferred option, but this was a down week and will depress Murray's waiver wire price, making him a sneaky ad. Murray will have better days when the Bills are leading at home Thursday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who's going to be your second sneaky ad heading into week 8?
I'm going to go with Kendrick Bourne. Played 57 of 60 offensive snaps. Finally out of the doghouse for whatever reason that he was in the first place there. It helps when you don't have Matt Patricia. As one of your 2 offensive coordinators there, you actually have an offensive coordinator. This team is better when Bourne's on the field and they use him. Still 26% rostered in Yahoo. I expect that percentage to go up. Although it's interesting, Alan, no bye weeks this week. So we're not going to be scrambling to fill spots. It's really about who's got the best matchup. And, with that in mind, you look at the Pats, they go at Miami this week. I've seen worse. At the same time, they're going to have to put up points.
Kendrick Bourne has been the classic, the better games come on your bench, but now that he's done it 2 weeks in a row, he's back in my circle of trust. I like that as a sneaky ad. I'm adding Pierre Strong, the Browns running back, who was acquired cheaply from the Patriots late in the summer. He'd been treated as like a fantasy afterthought so rightly, but a few weeks back when Nick Chubb went down, the team signed Kareem Hunt, leaving Pierre Strong to live in fantasy purgatory once again. Starter Jerome Ford did suffer an ankle injury, did not return to the game. Pierre Strong split backfield duties with Kareem Hunt. In fact, Strong actually out-carried Hunt 5-2 after Ford exited. We expect a 50-50 split if Ford misses some time. The Browns face the Seahawks in week 8 and the Cardinals in week 9. Who's your third sneaky ad this week?
Third sneaky ad, Jaylin Hyatt, New York Football Giants, 5% rostered in Yahoo. He's a big play guy. 2 catches for 75 yards yesterday. They need to go to him more often. He's got some juice. They need to use him. I don't love the matchup this week. So Hyatt is more of a stash because he's facing the Giants. I mean, the Giants are facing the Jets this week. So you don't really love the matchup against the Jets, especially with them coming off of a bye week. But after the Battle of New York, I'd like to see him get a little bit more action. I think Hyatt's a guy that they need to turn to. They spent that early draft capital on Hyatt. I think they need to cash in on that.
Who's playing better football right now, Tyrod Taylor or Daniel Jones?
I think Taylor plays a little bit better. They won under Taylor.
Taylor actually has been able to buoy the fantasy value of Darren Waller, of Jaylin Hyatt, whereas so far Daniel Jones has not. I'm sneaking Cowboys backup running back Rico Dowdle onto my roster coming out of the bye, Jeff. Starter Tony Pollard has had a massive workload this season, and there's great concern about him holding up for the rest of the season. That was what we were worried about with Pollard. If Pollard misses a game, Dowdle's the next man up in an offense we all like for fantasy football. Dowdle's been part of the running back rotation and looks like he passed the eye test when I've watched him. Rico Dowdle would be a player that your league mates would throw all their fab in to acquire if a Pollard injury occurs. You might as well get him on your roster right now while you can for $1 or $2. Since you watched this video to the end, we're going to give you one bonus sneaky ad.
Trey McBride of the Arizona Cardinals tight end is kind of inching into Zach Ertz's playing time. They played an equal number of snaps yesterday in the loss to Seattle. And I think that McBride is a guy that they like in the long term. I think he's got a little bit of speed. You notice they ran some tight end screens to him, and they actually worked a couple of times. He's someone that I think is kind of interesting in the long run. Certainly, we're always looking for some improvement at tight end, and I think McBride might be of some use down the stretch.
If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications when RotoWire puts up new fantasy football content every single day. And right now, you can get behind RotoWire's paywall for free. Just go to rotowire.com/try, put in your email, and the paywall unlocks for 2 days. And if you love fantasy basketball, we just opened up a new RotoWire YouTube channel, 100% fantasy basketball. You can click the link in the video description below to subscribe to that channel for free, or it's linked to the RotoWire main YouTube page.